Hello everybody, my name is Peter and I'm gonna talk to you about one of the nice and great adventures I recently had. I've been training horses in my last trip and that was pretty cool because this person had 15 horses in total, and to be honest, he already trains a lot of very cool things with his horses and he wants to see how far he can go. So he invited me to come over and check out his horses. The first things that I have looked at is, how does he exactly work with his horses? That was question number one. Then, how can we focus on the tiny details to empower these animals in his care? That was actually step number two. And from there, we started the practice. So at first I gave him a presentation about how the science of behavior works exactly and how that would look like in practice. Then we did some practice sessions where we really focused on the fact that, hey, what is the horse doing and what would we like to have? And what is the very first behavior you want to teach your animal? Because that was quite an eye-opener for the 4 people that were there. We've done this afterwards, we started into the next behaviors. Now, interestingly, I always start with teach your animal to be focused on the trainer. So we give them a reinforcer when they look at us. Then I wait a second, I give another reinforcer. I wait 2 seconds, I wait 3 seconds, and so on. Now the reason I'm doing this is because eventually when you're extending the time between reinforcers, that's where other cues will come in. So the animal will actually wait for the next information to come, and that's what I'm teaching the animal. If I then on top of that change reinforcement, so change different ways of reinforcement, I actually work my motivation for the training session as well. That was number one. After that, we started to work on different foundation behaviors. We started to work on follow me, focus on me, come with me, and then we added in a target. Now, the only thing that I asked the trainers to do, look, the only thing that you can ask is focus, follow, and target. That's it. Now, what I discovered in the horse world is that training sessions actually take quite a long time. Where I'm coming from, we do training sessions very short, because if we reach our goal in our session, which is an important part as well, then I might as well stop my session on a high note. And that's how we started to work. So then the people discovered that, hey, my training sessions do not have to be so long. It's maybe better to do more smaller sessions because then my progression goes way faster in the behavior that I'm trying to teach. Now that's one of the things that we've tried, and slowly you saw more and more progression. Another focus point we had was working with multiple animals. Pretty difficult. So I placed the trainer in a position where he had to work with multiple animals. We started with 2, but he said, what I like to do is put all my horses onto the field. And he had 2 different groups, the stallions and the mares. And he put the mares on the field, wanted to see who would come to him. So eventually he worked 4 horses at the same time. Just from scratch he started. Then we talked every time after the session about how it went, and from there we tightened up the details. Within 4 or 5 sessions he already had the control that he needed to be able to start teaching them different behaviors, such as a station or a target and so on, because eventually this is going to work his efficiency, and that's what we're all about. At the very last day we talked about cooperative care. Now you guys most likely all know that's one of my passions. Cooperative care, teaching our animals to take care in their own care. That's essentially what we're trying to do. He told me he would like to do injections with his horses because something in the horse world says that a lot of people do not do that just yet. Well, I've seen many who already do it, but that's just because I'm in the world of reinforcement practices very much. But he wanted to work this with all of his horses as well. One of the first things that we started to look into is basically desensitization. How does that work? Active desensitization. What we want to teach the horse is whatever is happening around you, we reinforce you if you stay calm and have that focused behavior which I talked about previously. Very important part. anything that happens. So I told him, I said, you know what? Reinforce your horse first, then we wait. I will apply a change in environment. When your horse stays calm with you, you reinforce again. And that's the continuous pattern that we create. So the animal will see things happening around him, but because we reinforce his calm behavior, which is focused to the trainer, that's basically what we want to reinforce, then it starts to show us that they slowly don't mind about what's happening in their environment. That was number one. Number two was, you know what? Let's now extend this. Let's now see how this situation actually works into injection training session. I told the trainer, you know what? Come with the horse towards me. I started to touch the horse, stop, reinforcement was given. I touch the horse, I stop, reinforcement is given. But the changes that we make is the way I touch the horse. So once it's just a pat, then it's just a little tap on the back, then with my finger I poke, I knock like it's on the door, and so on. So different sensations. But the whole idea is, animal focuses to the trainer, now the animal's being touched, animal stays calm, therefore you get reinforced. And that's what we slowly can build out into a injection training.
Great. Touching? Good girl. Well done.
So it was a fantastic weekend up there in Poland, and it was very, very joyful. And this trainer, I need to say, he was already very skillful in what he was doing. We just worked the details so he can move on to even higher levels with his beautiful Arabian horses. Thank you very much. I hope you learned something. It was a great adventure, and I've never been to Poland. So see you guys later. Bye bye.